Good morning, everyone. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com with your morning market outlook for Thursday, May 28th, 2026. In the pre-market this morning, we've got a wall of economic numbers coming out at 8:30 this morning, including U.S. jobless claims. The futures are a little lower ahead of that. No major selling so far. That might be on the back of higher crude oil prices this morning. They're back over $90 once again. And we've got the price of gold down $62.20 in the pre-market on Thursday morning. Looking at the VIX, it traded lower yesterday, so no change in trend for the VIX. That's supportive for higher stock prices. Looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum, they both traded lower on Wednesday, so no change in trend there. Looking at the world of commodities, of course, we had gold down yesterday. It's down again in the pre-market this morning. We almost hit the 200-day moving average yesterday, and we're getting pretty close to the March low. And you can see the March low just below $400. So we'll be looking to see if $400 can act as support once again for the price of gold. Looking at silver, it also traded lower, well off the 200-day moving average at this time. Palladium, platinum, both traded lower on Wednesday, so no change there. The materials ETF is back on a sell signal as of Wednesday's close. That was a short ride. Looking at crude oil traded lower yesterday. It's up a little in the pre-market this morning. Gasoline was down again yesterday. Again, it might be up in the pre-market today. Looking at natural gas, no change here. Trading in the channel, so a close above 1139 would technically give us a buy signal, but it's really not something I care about at the moment. So we had a little bit of selling over the past couple of days. Pros didn't give up control. We're still trading below the 100-day moving average, and of course, we'd like to see a breakout above the flypaper channel before we get excited about natural gas. Taking a look at the bond market, bonds moved up slightly yesterday. Bond yields continue to move lower. We'll be watching this trend just to see if it turns around. That could put major downward pressure on the stock market. Looking at the major index ETF, starting off in Toronto, we had a pullback for the TSX 60, a pullback for the TSX Composite. No major selling yesterday. That's also true in New York, where the Vanguard Total Market ETF was down a dime on the day. There's the Dow trading slightly higher yesterday. Really quiet day for the S&P 500 on Wednesday, and a very quiet day for the NASDAQ 100, which made a new high yesterday. We're trying to get to 750, got as high as 733.32 yesterday. Looking at the Russell 2000, the mid caps, small caps, micro caps all made new highs on Wednesday. And then we had a new high for the semiconductor ETF before it pulled back. It did not close below the previous day's low. We did get a couple of sector buy signals yesterday. Pharmaceuticals and biotechs generated a buy signal on Wednesday. What didn't work? Insurance. Insurance is back on a sell signal as of Wednesday's close. We also have some selling in the oil services sector. So anything any energy related, of course, has been selling off this week. Now, there's going to be a lot of focus on banks this week. We've got CIBC and the Royal Bank out with earnings today. The Canadian banking sector looks totally different than the U.S. banking sector right now. There's the Bank of Montreal making a new high for the Bank of Nova Scotia yesterday. We made a new high for CIBC 3 days ago. Very quiet trading yesterday, inside day. National Bank is back on a sell signal as of Wednesday's close. Then looking at the Royal Bank and the TD Bank, they both had inside days on Wednesday. Then looking at the U.S. banking sector, and again, this is totally different than the Canadian banking sector. There's Bank of America making a high back in February, a lower high in April, then a lower high in May. And it looks like we may have put in a lower high this week. We'll have to wait and see. On Thursday, we're looking for a close below $50.73. We closed about 30 cents above that yesterday. So we're right on the edge of a new daily sell signal. There's Citigroup, and Citigroup moved up and made a high in April, a lower high in May, and it looks like we may be making a lower high now. We'll have to wait and see. And then there's a series of lower lows. So that's a bearish chart picture. Now, Goldman Sachs is the only one really doing well at the moment, and it is up at the $1,000 mark, which of course is a big round number. So we've been up here for 4 days now and haven't really been able to break out and away from it. If we can, then $1,031.25 is our next target for Goldman Sachs. JP Morgan made highs back in February, made a lower high in April, a lower high in May, and it looks like we may have made a lower high on Tuesday. And so it looks like we're coming down to the uptrend line at the moment. We'll see if that holds or not. Then Wells Fargo is still in the doghouse. Again, we made a high in February, a lower high in April, a lower high in May, and it looks like we may be making a lower high this week with a close below $74.90 on Thursday. And you can see that we made a lower low earlier in May, and we'll have to see if that holds or not if we continue lower from here. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. So far, it looks like we may see a little selling at the open on Thursday morning. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Friday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.